What's up, crypto legends? The S&P 500 is forming a huge head and shoulder pattern, and right now it is sitting at the neckline. Are we going to manage to break this today, Friday, or potentially next week? I'll be sharing the possible targets that can be reached here in the next coming days. We're also taking a look at Bitcoin here because Bitcoin is beneath a massive resistance zone. Will we manage to have a test here of this resistance area and then start falling here to the downside to $26,000 and potentially even lower during the next coming days? I want to let you understand that we have broken here an ascending channel, which is very corrective, and we are starting impulsive moves here to the downside, which is likely going to have that continuation. I'll be sharing the possible targets in the next coming days, of course, and also the trading opportunities, those levels where we can take advantage of this market. So make sure to stay tuned. Hi there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoinsensus. Let's dive in here straight into the point here, guys, because the S&P 500 has formed this massive head and shoulder structure. We've been talking about this the last few days on some live streams on the possibility of this right shoulder formation. Right now, we are sitting at the neckline. If we do zoom in here on the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that this neckline is just being tested. Today, Friday, we have the close of the market. Will we manage to break through this support trend line here in the next coming hours as the US market opens? Well, of course, that is definitely a possibility. There is possibility of a test here from this low on the 18th of August and creating that swing failure pattern, that failed breakout, to have a little bit of a bounce. But overall, in my opinion, this is a very much bearish market structure, and we are likely going to break down here in the next coming days, potentially by next week. So something that we need to pay attention. There is massive correlation, of course, with the stock market and Bitcoin, and if the stock market were to get that significant breakdown, of course, that will affect Bitcoin. Now, the projected move of this head and shoulder structure would be coming all the way down to the 4,100 points. And if we do zoom out here back to the daily level and we do take a look at the volume profile, that is where we do have the highest volume node. So this right over here will likely get a potential bounce as we do hit this massive area of consolidation that we had here in Q1 of 2023, as you can see here on the chart. So it is very likely to happen. This is obviously a reversal pattern, and this drop here can be absolutely massive, being in 200, bringing a drop of 250 points from the breakout. This is potentially going to happen next week. Today is Friday. Let's see if we do get that volatility. But overall, if we do not start breaking down, it is likely for Bitcoin that is going to be very choppy and very boring. But overall, we are going to see the market opening here as I upload this video. So we're possibly going to see that volatility. There is a chance, of course, of getting a short-term bounce. Maybe today the market does not want to break down from this major support level and can get a potential relief rally. Now, diving into Bitcoin, guys, understanding what is going on here for Bitcoin, because what is likely to happen is that we are going to go to lower levels. Now, remember, where I trade is on Bybit. Bybit is my favorite crypto trading platform here. You have an insane bonus down below of $30,000 that you can claim to pay your fees and your losses. Of course, another alternative is Bitflex. Bitflex is also a great platform. This is if you do not want to do KYC. You can sign up with an email and a password in less than 1 minute. You also get $10 worth of bonus if you deposit $100, guys. Take advantage of these bonus for your trading. Diving in here right away into the price of Bitcoin, we did talk about this bearish cipher harmonic pattern going here very nicely with Fibonacci levels, the 382, 1.27 right there, and the 78 right over here getting this rejection. We talked about this pattern a few days ago. We were talking about the possibility of claiming the highs here again, but the market already started falling here, as you can see. Now, we're going to zoom in on the lower time frames. So I want you to understand that here, since the 18th of August, we got 1 month of price action here, as you can see, sideways action, a bit to the upside, to the downside, but it's it's a big, massive range, as you can see. We are currently beneath the value area high of this range that has been highly respected. This is the $26,800. We can see it respected here on the 23rd of August, right over here on the 14th of August, and also 16th of August. So very respected level. We pumped out of this zone. We back test it as support, back up, double top, and now we're breaking through here this really strong neckline, which is in between 26.7 and 26.8k here, as you can see on the price of Bitcoin. So yes, we are back inside of the range, meaning that more downside is very likely. Okay, but what happens if I did not short here? What happens if I did not short, round about this range here to get into the drop? Let me just zoom in on the lower time frames and explain how, yes, this is very much impulsive here, moves to the downside. Why? Because we do have high volume and decisive price action. You can see these moves down. The upside is very corrective. The downside is very impulsive. The upside is very corrective. We are currently forming an ascending wedge structure here, meaning that we are likely going to break down to test these lows over here. Of course, there is a possibility that we might even test the highs from today. There is a possibility that we might have an attempt to move here higher, hitting 26,700 or 800. Let's leave it as it. There is a possibility. Now, I would be very much interested in adding to my short position. I've got a small position open on Bybit. And if we were to reject from this zone, okay, claiming the highs after this major drop, which would be here, as you can see, 26,780, this lower high, and this one just created today, there could be a liquidity grab here from early shorters, and then the price could have that momentum to the downside. So this is something that I'm paying attention. Remember, that zone over here is the value area high of this entire trading range for the last month. So what is likely that we are going to see more downside for Bitcoin here in the coming days. Now, let me just dive in here and explain this ascending channel. This is a very corrective move. There's nothing impulsive about this uptrend, as you can see here on the chart. It has been very choppy, and now we are starting the impulsive moves down. When we do see this massive move down here, this is impulsive, meaning that we are likely to have another impulsive move to the downside as we are forming a corrective structure here in between yesterday and today. So the probabilities are telling me that yes, we are likely to go lower. Any price action above the value area high needs to be very powerful and impulsive for me to switch bullish and think that we are likely going to come here to 27,400. Any price action to 27.8, even 27.9, having an attempt to break out these highs over here is going to be bearish for me. I will be very carefully watching the price action with the Legends community to see if there's going to be a shorting opportunity, because it is likely that that leg down here to the point of control is going to happen in the next coming days. Of course, today is Friday. We are entering the weekend. We are probably going to see boring price action, maybe move up, maybe move down. But overall, the overall target is coming all the way down here. If we get the measured move of an ascending channel, well, the width of the channel is the projected move from the breakout. And that, as you can see, is taking us all the way down to that point of control of this entire range, which is $26,000. Now, I would expect a little bit of volatility here. We might get beneath the point of control, but overall, would be expecting a short-term bounce. If we do take a look at Fibonacci retracement from the pivot low to that pivot high, the 618 is slightly beneath the point of control, so we could have an attempt and go into the 618, claim these higher lows right over here for that liquidity grab, and then get a pretty decent bounce. That is still speculation. We're just going to have to see the price action as we go down to that level. But for the moment, internally, we are beneath a value area high. We've broken out from this ascending channel that we formed here the last week. So it is very impulsive. We are likely correcting here to the upside to form that next leg down. Of course, stay very cautious with your trading. Be very defensive. Have great risk management, because overall, we're just looking at probabilities. That's my personal opinion. No financial advice. We could have a massive explosive move here to the upside out of nowhere, which is unlikely. So if you are in any short trade scenarios, manage your risk very well, because this could happen. This is no game of adding to the position, adding for a swing short position, thinking that $25,000 is going to happen here in the next coming days. We could see some reversals, we could see some short squeezes, and you need to manage your risk very, very well. Going back here to this cipher pattern, the overall target is $25,000. Now, this could take several days, all right, till we reach that target. First target zone would be that 618 endpoint of control here, which is round about the 25.8 and the 26K zone, all right, which I am targeting that level to be hit in the coming days, whether we do try and attempt here and breaking above the value area high, which I think is likely to fail to have that continuation to the downside. When I will switch bullish, of course, if we do have a massive solid move above the value area high, and would we at least have to get to $27.2 thousand, all right, 27.2K, with a huge amount of volume, that would be the moment that I would say, okay, guys, we're likely going to claim this high, and we're possibly even going to claim this high. There is a possibility, though, if that does happen, I will be eyeing very much this high of the 19th of September, which is at $27,470 for a possible swing failure pattern, an attempt here in failing to move higher, and then finally having that major crash to the downside, because overall this bearish harmonic cipher pattern is still very much in play. And even though if we do claim this high over here, it is still definitely a possibility for a swing failure pattern of these highs and then finally get the drop. And that is the trade that we want to be in. Okay, guys, that would be an insane bullish case scenario in the short term, but just so you're ready, managing your risk if this short does not play out, well, obviously we'll be looking for the next possible shorting scenario. That is it for today's episode, guys. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next one.